Can you feel the energy in the air? We are at the bins in Las Vegas. Let's go. I'm a little bit nervous, a little bit psyched. I'm not sure what to expect. Let's see what we can find today. If you all don't know who I am Carrie. I am a full-time reseller with my girlfriend, Dawn, Lady Arbitrage, and we're looking for treasures in these weird blue bins. Starting off pretty strong, I see a 4-piece toaster, a weird blue thing, and some sort of microscope. That is the kind of variety you can come to expect when you go to the bins. There's a ton of stuff, but if you're willing to dig, you can find some good items. I see a ton of hangers. I actually need some of those, but I didn't pick them up. I decided to pass because who comes to the bin for hangers? My first pickup of the day is this New York Knicks hoodie. It's not the best item in the whole world, but this is going to be good filler for my whatnot auction. It's not that heavy. We can get it for around $1 or so, so I'm going to pick it up, see how it does. I find it interesting that the Goodwill outlet here in Vegas is actually smaller than the one in Salt Lake City. That's kind of surprising. Dawn, of course, already has quite a few things. Awesome vintage Buffalo Bills lamp. We don't know if it works, but we picked it up. We're going to test it out. We got another Minion. Those do great in our auction. And Dawn didn't know who this was. It's Thanos. We're going to put this in our auction. These do really well. Pop culture items, we sell a lot of them. It wouldn't be the bins if we didn't find a bunch of pairless shoes. Just one shoe. That Nike looked pretty good. Probably would have picked it up if it had another one. I didn't dig really hard. There might have been one in there. There's a bunch of stuff I was kind of grabbing at. I've been looking at shoes, as many of you know lately. These are little cons. They were just looked too dirty to clean up, so I decided to pass. And I was looking at anything that caught my eye. I thought that was going to be something good, and I was definitely wrong. Not good. You could probably piece out the parts in this vacuum if you really wanted to, or test it out. I mean, what would it be, like maybe $10 at the bins, $12? But I'm definitely not interested in doing that myself. This is one of those times where being a long-time picker really pays off. I recognize this label, Archive. They do classical music. I've sold lots of classical music throughout the years. This is a classical rendition of Handel's Messiah, and it's a 2-CD one. This one, probably cost me less than $1 and should get me somewhere in between $7 and $10 plus shipping. This next item is a bread and butter item for our Whatnot auction. If I only did eBay and I wasn't doing Whatnot, I wouldn't get this probably, but this is a 2020 Los Angeles Dodgers World Series shirt. Should get me more than what I pay. This will be less than $1, so I'm going to throw that in. It's good filler for the auction. Didn't expect to see an item like this at the thrift. Of course, Dawn found it. She's always finding the cool stuff. This is a signed autograph copy of John Rocco's book, Greek Gods. I'm assuming it's about Greek gods. I'm not sure. But it's autographed, which is neat. Couldn't find a comp on this. I'm going to ask somewhere between like $10 and $20 plus shipping. I'm sure there's a super fan of John Rocco out there, so hopefully it'll sell. But it's rad. I mean, I don't mind if I keep that, honestly. One thing I've noticed from my last couple trips at the Goodwill bins is if you don't get here early, it's really tough to get a cart. We couldn't even get a cart at all. Dawn found this trash bag. We started filling stuff up in the trash bag. Phineas Chamberlain Goodwill, sir, whoever owns the Goodwill, here's a tip. We need carts so that we could put the stuff in that we want to buy. I mean, it seems pretty simple. Once again, Dawn is proving she's the real MVP. She found a couple Goosebump books. We love to find these. We lot them up. We could sell them on our Whatnot auction. They do well, or we can sell them on eBay. I love finding these. They're, I think, a little bit newer, but still. Wish we found a few more, but not bad at all. I thought this was Halo 4. Unfortunately, it's Fallout 3. Might have still got it because it cost next to nothing. Halo 4 wasn't worth that much either. Just throw it in, but unfortunately, the disc was super scratched up. That happens a lot. Always check the discs of games. I don't buy anything that's super scratched up. Found a whole bunch of comic books from the 1960s. They weren't in great condition, but these are awesome for lots. We're going to put some on Whatnot, probably most of them on Whatnot, but we could also sell some of these on eBay if we wanted to. There's The Girl from U.N.C.L.E., Dennis the Menace, Archie, Reggie and Me, a whole bunch of different titles. Some of them don't have the cover. If you find comic books that are old enough, I found some from the 30s before with no cover that are actually worth picking up. So don't necessarily not buy those just because they have damage. You never know what could be worth some money. Also, this Lisa Frank coloring book was awesome. I love to pick up Lisa Frank stuff, but it was pretty much completely, done. Every page was colored in, so I decided to pass on it. There are so many bread and butter items at the bins, just $5, $10, $15 items that you can flip. This caught my eye because it said World Tour. It looked like some sort of, concert or tour book, which is exactly what it is. I guess this group of stallions and stuff travels around. You can see a show. That was worth like $7, $8. This looked decent, just something Disney to put into our auction. Wasn't planning on putting this on eBay, but this is good filler item for our auction. Here's a piece of reselling advice I can give you from doing this for years and years. If an item is super specific, like this DVD on the attack of a certain boat in World War II, look it up. Turns out this is worth about $7 to $10 plus shipping. So what you don't see right now is on either side of me, there are people waiting to go at these bins. There's a lot of energy. We're waiting for them to say go. We have to wait. What do you think we're going to go for first in this bin? Me and Dawn pick the same item. Check this out. We both go for this John Deere item. Dawn, of course, gets there first. She always does. She's the better picker. This is probably the most intense part of any trip to the Goodwill bins when they say go and you can go after this stuff. I'm just flailing around looking for items that have value. I think that's Blimpy from Popeye. He wants hamburgers or something and he doesn't want to pay for them. That's all I remember. So plushes, of course, we get for a whatnot auction. So I'm amped up. I'm trying to focus and, try to find something in this short period of time I have to find the best, most obvious stuff. You can dig a little bit further, 10, 15 minutes after they bring out the bins, but as you can tell at the start, people are just tearing apart these bins. I did find a nice plush, Winnie the Pooh, Tigger. We are going to get that new with the tag, Christopher Robbins, I think from the new movie, so that's awesome. We're in Las Vegas, so there's a lot of UFC events, so I found a couple of these brand new water bottles that said UFC on them. Picked a few up, there was more of them, and I ended up going back and getting even more. I think I got like 3 or 4 of them. We'll see how they do. I didn't really look them up. There's a nice big amp here. If you know what you're doing, if you know how to fix these or you know how to test them properly, that could have been a good pickup maybe, but I don't know what I'm doing, so I didn't pick that up, and nobody else seemed to be doing it either. Found another semi-old plush here. This is one that I looked at, put back, and then Dawn decided to get later. She's right, this does have a little age to it, that plush, so it's probably best that we do get it for our whatnot auction. This may be one of my favorite finds of the day because I love sports stuff. This is vintage Dr. Pepper Hardy's Miami Dolphins 1982 plastic mug. We actually ended up finding another one, Dawn did, so we got 2 of these at once in one trip, so that's awesome. We found this, I think this is like a diaper bag, a Winnie the Pooh one. I need that to put stuff in, but also I think it'll do well in our whatnot auction. As you know, I buy a lot of stuff when I go to the bin for the whatnot auction. It's a great place to get a quantity of inventory at a really inexpensive price, and it makes, life and setting up an auction a lot easier. We've had a lot of luck finding plushes at the bins. This is a nice puppet one right here. It's a beaver in really nice condition. It's not going to weigh much at all, probably cost us around $1. Put it in the auction and it should do well. I have an affinity for plastic mugs. This is a 1990s Alaska plastic mug with a bunch of wildlife wolves on it. I think it's kind of cool. I think somebody will pick that up. I'd imagine I'll get like $10 or $15 for it plus shipping. Like I said earlier, Dawn decided to pick up this plush Viking. It's in decent condition. I would say like 1990s, maybe 1980s. We're going to see how we do with that. I'm sure it's going to go in our whatnot auction. If you've made it to this point in the video where you're hearing my voice right now, that's awesome. Thank you. Not sure why you did it. Not going to ask any questions. While you're here, you might like the video and what I'm doing. Like and subscribe and watch some more.